What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. We're also going to scroll through some altcoins, freestyle on those a little bit. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at 18,946. We're down 2.58%. What I want to mention is in yesterday's video, the number one thing we were watching on the 1 hour time frame was to see if we could continuously hold these higher lows on the 1 hour time frame. We broke down through, we back tested it, and then we had our big dump on heavier volume. So we do want to be aware of it, that we have broken down on the 1 hour time frame from that trend line out of this little pennant that we were dealing with. So now what we'd have to do in terms of the upside, what we'd be looking at is trying to get back up over top of $19,000. That's going to be the next overhead resistance. Then we'd look up roughly to, we call it 19,400 is going to be a very tough resistance. We've been hitting about 19,600, and each time we've hit that now, we've had a sell-off. So that showed that we needed more of a retracement. We need to power back up and then try again as the days and weeks progress. So as we're looking at this here, the main area though, those are the overhead resistance area. If we are to go a little bit lower, what I look at is the 200 moving average, which we have already found support off of, and we did have some buying pressure. That would be around $18,712. And then we'd be looking down into roughly about the $18,464 range. And beyond that, we've talked about this, guys. In the short term, we're more bearish right now. In the longer term, we are definitely more bullish. We are still in a healthy uptrend. If we click out here to the 1 day time frame for Bitcoin and we take a look, we are still trading up above our 20 EMA, our 50, our 100, our 200. The RSI right now is at 61. So what that's showing is we just need to cool down more. We need to find some support watching these areas, and if we can find that support, then we'll have to go back up and challenge these levels again. Because if you challenge and you fail, then you're going to have that big dump, just like we had here. We dumped down, then we tried to go back up and get through this, and then we failed again. So we need to be aware of these things and pay attention to them. So I would say short term, a little bit more bearish. We could be having this selling off pressure throughout the day today, if we take a look at this. So just be aware of that. You know, this is something where if you're a longer term investor, not financial advice, you want to stay in your positions and continue to ride this. If you're a shorter term trader, you can see now that the trend, even as we work down through this, say let's go to the 30-minute here, what I like to look for when I'm watching these things is what's happening with the volume. Are we having heavy downside volume? And then when we have our reaction is on lighter volume. And then if we're going to have another heavy downward move before a lighter volume up move. And I'm watching these trends, just like when we broke these higher lows here, right? Now we've been having lower highs and lower lows. And we just work through the time frames into the 15-minute even. And take a look at that. So now what we're trying to do is set a higher low, see if we can change that trend and start moving back to the upside. But you can see this heavy selling pressure that has come in. So I would be cautious in this area. Basically what happened to me, like in XRP, I'll show you, I was trading that pennant that was taking place, and I had a stop loss. Candles were getting really tight, had a stop loss underneath that. We broke to the downside. I ended up getting stopped out. I looked for the next great opportunity. It is what it is. If it would have ran to the upside, we would have had this move to the upside. It would have been much more massive gains than the tiny little percentage. Whenever those candles are tight, you can basically move your stop loss up a little bit closer and be a little bit tighter on that because the volatility isn't as much. So it's worth the risk a lot of the times. But as we look through this, we're just watching the trend. So a little bit more in the short term, a little bit more bearish. In the longer term, definitely more bullish. We're doing great. This is amazing for Bitcoin even to be at these prices, guys. Let's not be greedy. We're sitting at almost $19,000 for Bitcoin right now. That's awesome. And trading volatility, that's what you want as well when you're a day trader or, you know, even a swing trader, that type of stuff. So that's going to be Bitcoin. Really watch those areas, guys. We're going to get into Ethereum next. And also, if you get something from this video and this channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends. We specifically go off price action, guys, and we don't want to be emotional about anything. That's the key. So let's go to Ethereum on the 1 hour time frame. Take a look at ETH. ETH's at $586 right now. We're trying to hold the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. We have been trading up above that since about November 28th. So if we do have a candle close below this, I would be careful and I'd watch some lower areas, maybe even around $562, 551 is going to be another spot right down here. That could be a good buying opportunity. We just want to work our way down there and kind of see if we are to drop down through that 200 moving average. Typically when you lose that on the 1 hour, you can fall pretty fast. So just be aware of that. You can see over here, when we did break down through that, it ended up being a pretty significant move to the downside. So be aware of that. And also when you get up above that, many times that can be a great buying opportunity. And you see we had a nice run here. Back here, once we got up above it, had a beautiful run. So really keep an eye on that 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. It can do a lot for you. But in terms of support, those are the areas I'm going to be looking at. Overhead resistance, we're going to try to get back up above $594. Going to be overhead resistance, then it's going to be up around $600. And that could be tough to get back up above from all this chop and resistance that we had here. So we're going to have to watch the buying pressure today for Ethereum. But still, if we zoom out on the 1 day time frame now, RSI is at 51. Volatility stop is at 548 right now. We're still above our 20, 50, 100, and our 200 moving average. If we do have a retracement back onto the 50 like we have had during this uptrend, that would put us right back around $493. Would be a good potential buying area. Even that 100 moving average, we've been back to that before, and that'd put us back around 434 if that's the case. In terms of overhead resistance, guys, like we talked about, that 594, 600, then it'd be up around that 628 where we've seen rejection almost 3 times now. So may just need to cool down a little bit. RSI losing a little bit of strength there. So we're going to keep an eye on that. If we get to the technicals for Ethereum, so what we're going to do is kind of go to that 1 hour like we've been looking at. So in the shorter term, like we were talking about, it's a sell. On the 4 hour, we're having a buy. On the 1 day, we are still having a buy due to the fact we're up above all those moving average. That's showing it's still really strong there. A lot of this here, relative strength, neutral, awesome oscillator buy, momentum buy, MACD level is going to be a buy there. So let's just keep an eye on Ethereum. If we have to retrace a little bit more, that's fine, guys. This is healthy for the market. You know, once Ethereum gets through that 628, we'd be looking up to around $719. Then up around 800, things could move really fast. And that's what takes place in this space. So always be aware of that. Litecoin right now is at $82, $82.68. We're going to look to stay up above this 20 EMA. That's roughly going to be at around $78.87 as support. We're going to look at same deal like Ethereum. We tried to go back up over top to get through $94 and we couldn't. So that means we're going to have some type of retracement. That's how this game works, guys. You know, it really is. In terms of support, beyond the 20 EMA there, we're going to look down to that 50. And that's roughly going to be at about $69. And we look down around $67.45 are going to be the areas. But that's how much, you know, Litecoin, a lot of these coins can take back after you have these strong moves. So you always want to be aware of that, and you want to use protective stops if you're trading. Okay, so that's going to be Litecoin. RSI is at 56. Let's go to XRP here, being at 56. And this was the reason why I got stopped out here, guys. We're going to go into the 1 hour like I was playing it on, because I always like to go back through trades as well. This is where I took it. See how the candles were getting really tight here. Even the RSI was starting to move up a little bit. And what I did, you can see this volatility stop here, put it right underneath that 100 moving average. Once we broke down, triggered out. Now I'm looking for another great opportunity. In terms of support, we're looking at 55 cents, and it's going to be roughly down around 51 cents, and then to about that 47 cents. In terms of overhead resistance, we got to get back up above 60 cents for XRP. But this type of stuff happens, guys, and that's what you have to be prepared for. In the cryptocurrency space, especially when it's this volatile, be ready. You know, be ready for those huge upsides, be ready for the huge downsides. Look out of this triangle here. Look at that massive upside. Gave it all back almost. It's the name of the game. That's why I like swing trading this market. Something I would look into if I were you, really studying the best that you can. Okay, Bitcoin Cash 288. We're looking at Dash at 102. Tezos 232. Let's see here. Makers at 535. Civics at 10 cents. ADA Let's take a look at ADA here. That's at 15.5 cents right now. Zcash 72. So that's what I want to bring to you guys today. Don't get your emotions down and everything. Just this part of the game, you know, this part of the game, and it's going to create opportunities. So take advantage of them. Hope this helps, guys. God bless you all. Take care.